And we didn't get the win we wanted, but performance-wise, we can be satisfied.
Yeah, I'd say so. All round. I think every player gave their best. Even the boys that came on the pitch. So it was a good performance from us.
Do you think there was more intensity out there today? We pressed them high.
Yeah, definitely. As a team as well. Going together. It helps, pushes everyone on.
Obviously, we did start pretty bright, didn't we? We were probably the better team first 15, and then literally long ball forward, and then a bit of unfortunate mistake, and they go 1-0 up. Could really set us back, but it didn't.
No, it didn't. We bounced back from that. Obviously that's the hard part. Coming back from 1-0 down. We stayed positive and knew that we'd get our chance.
Obviously, when you're winning games, it becomes a bit of a habit. At the moment, we just can't quite get in that habit. It's not like we're playing particularly badly. It's just that the ball's not going in the net or the ball's not breaking to us.
Yeah, literally that can just be football. Sometimes in football you need luck. Obviously we haven't had that, but we still have a positive mindset. Going into games and giving our all.
What about Jarrod? Obviously he just pops up, but he had to have the ball and another assist for you.
Yeah, it's always good to help the team. When he got it, I knew he was going to do something. Either square it or finish, and he chose to finish. So, congrats to him.
I know you're a big team player, but you must be pleased with the way you're playing. Going forward, especially catching the eye and defensively, those spider legs were doing bits again today.
I just try to give 100% every time I step on the pitch. And try to help the team.
Next week, go to Old Trafford. Moment for you. Obviously, I know every game's just a game of football, but for you going back up there, you obviously have a lot of friends still up there. Be a nice moment. Be nice to shut them up though.
It'll be nice to go over there. I haven't been there in a while, and to see my teammates. But at the end of the day, it's a football game. And we have the mentality to go there and win.
Last few weeks have been really frustrating. Obviously today we'd have rather won, but I think level of performance wise we can be satisfied.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Frustrating because I think the game was there to be won on our side. I think we probably could have done more to win the game, had more chances. The keeper made a good save from a header late on from myself. But the state of the game when we went 1-0 down, it was important that we stuck together and showed a bit of character about us, and not to deflate, and we didn't, and we got that goal to get back into the game. But like I said, I think there was just a little bit more that we could have done maybe to win the game, because I thought it was there to win the game today.
It's a lovely goal as well, and Aaron provided you the assist, bit like he did at Arsenal. Yeah. But he's been a real level of consistency this season, hasn't he, in what has been an inconsistent season?
Yeah, no, he's been brilliant ever since he's walked through the door. He's been in the Premier League for a few years now and showed us quality and consistently done it week in, week out here. Another assist for him today, and that was a real part of the game that we knew we could exploit as bombing forwards, and them holding the line and trying to play offside and making those runs in behind to get in, and it worked perfectly for the goal. But yeah, Az has been consistently very good every single week, every day in training, and it's a pleasure to play with him and have him on our ranks.
When people are writing that the season's done and there's still 4 or 5 games to go, and obviously every point, if you look at the table, we could still climb 3 or 4 places, which would make the season look a little bit better. How do you sort of shut all that out?
No, I think I spoke last week after the Brighton game and said, it's easy to say the season's done, we can't get relegated, there's nothing to play for. But last week I said this is a club that prides itself on hard work and passion. And like you said, there's 3 games left to go and win some games, because ultimately this season we haven't done enough as a group of players to be high enough in the table. And last week I spoke about self-pride, and it's exactly the same message this week. It's self-pride to go out there every single week, because the off-season is a long time, and I think the worst thing that you can have after the end of the game, last game of the season, is wish I could have done more. I think talk is cheap. We have to show it, but I think that's the biggest thing, that a regret almost, but you don't want to be stuck with 6 weeks off saying I wish we could have done more at the end of the season so our season could have looked better. It's here and now, and it's now down to us to have 3 games left and win those remaining 3 games. That's got to be the mindset to play for this club. Obviously,
I know you're a team man more than anyone, but 10 goals in a Premier League season 3 times now. I mean, that's some achievement. 10 goals in the Premier League. Not that many people score that every season. You've done it 3 times.
Yeah, no, and it's something that I pride myself on, scoring goals, setting up goals, and that's all I've tried to do ever since I signed back in 2020, is to come in, play, work hard for the team, which, I think I do week in, week out, and try and score goals week in, week out, and, ultimately as an attacker, that's what you're judged on, and, long may it continue, keep scoring goals at this club.
Are you satisfied with the performance today? Obviously, we'd have liked to have won, but, we showed a lot of good things.
I think with aspects of the performance, for sure. I think especially first half. I thought we started well, started on the front foot. We tried to press. We disrupted their build-up, which is what they're good at. Made the game into duels. We missed some, passes on the regain, which is what you're trying to do it for, to try and attack an unorganised defence. But generally, in the first half, we were really good. Felt for the players because we conceded a goal from nothing with a mistake. And that can be a challenge, especially with the results we've been having. I thought everybody stuck together, which is, a big thank you to the supporters for that, because, it wasn't an easy moment for us. But I thought they recognised the team were playing well, they recognised the team were on the front foot and giving everything. And we scored a really good goal to get back into the game. And then second half, a little bit disappointing. We weren't able to sustain the level of performance from the first half. But again, I think that's a little bit understandable. We didn't attack as well as we'd like in the second half. But nevertheless, we still have opportunities. We reduced Tottenham to not many. So there's things to be happy with, but things still, of course, always be better.
So the players who've probably been our more consistent performers this season, Aaron and Jarrod, combined for the goal, and their levels of performance are probably what we all aspire to, because their levels of consistency are there.
Yeah, I thought I'd done that right side. JC did well. I mean, he's had a tight hamstring this week, so we were worried about him towards the back end of the game. I thought he was doing well. Him, Aaron and Jarrod have got a nice relationship down there, I think. And yeah, it was just nice. It was a good goal. I think it came from Fons. Spurs is not easy to play through because the physicality and how they press, they go pretty much man for man. So you've got to be brave with how you find your spare man and create some space. And we did that well. And it was a really good goal.
And at the moment, it just feels like, some teams, they just have that little bit, the ball bounces the right way, or it might end up in the net, or the ball will drop to somebody on the edge of the box and they'll smash it in the bottom corner. But we're just searching for that, and then that winning habit can start eking through. Yeah,
we're in a tough moment in terms of tough period in terms of results, for sure, because you can talk about fine lines and fine margins. We've had performances away at Liverpool or away at Brighton that you think you could have got something more from that. So points then make things a little bit better than what it is now, but we are where we are. We have to stick together as we've tried to do all through. And the players have done that. And it isn't easy when you haven't won for the time that we haven't won at a club like this, with the expectation that it is to keep things moving forward, or to keep things solid and together. But at the same time, we want to try and win. We know that in front of our supporters, and home or away. So that's what we have to do. We have to try and good week again and prepare for Manchester United.
Just lastly, you've talked so often about the human element of the game and how perhaps it's overlooked. And as you say, results and performances are looked at and people's emotions aren't. And obviously, Lucas had a moment in the second half that was concerning to see. And as a manager and a squad, we'll rally around him. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, I think he was, he's given everything, and football is football. Sometimes it's not perfect, and we sometimes we criticise players when they care and when they don't care, and it is just an action or a reaction from him that once the dust settles and the blood gets down, he's fine. I mean, he's going through a lot. In fairness, he's going through a lot, so we support him, of course, as always.